my mom was actually diagnosed with colon cancer about 2.5 years before I was. And I'll never forget sitting in the doctor's office and this doctor looking right at me and my brother. At the time I was about 42 years old. My brother was 30, I believe. And he told me that the 50-year-old rule just went right out the window, and he wanted me to go get checked right away. And he looked at my brother and told him he wanted him to go get checked right away. And I just shrugged it off. We spent the next 1.5 years or 2 helping my mom get better, and I never went to a doctor. And I ignored my symptoms. I was tired. I was anemic. I didn't know it. Ignored the signs. I remember telling my wife I didn't feel right. I remember my bowel habits were a little bit off, but I just shrugged it off to stress and hard work and everything else going on in my life. And I was shocked. If I would listen to that doctor, which I think is another important message, I probably wouldn't have had to go through such extreme medical procedures as I ended up having to go through. It wouldn't have been probably that severe of a situation. I was told that they probably thought my tumor was, at least 4 years old or 5 years old. But if I would have listened to my body and that professional, that doctor, I wouldn't have gone through everything I went through. But of course, I wouldn't be sitting here probably talking to people to try and help them. I think the biggest thing is the Colon Club has opened up the world to me. And number one, it's with the chat environment on the webpage. It gave me a source for information, and it's also given me a source to jump in and help people that are going through the same things that I went through. Because those questions just start, people need to find out the answers, and sometimes things are happening in your life and your treatment, and something's not correct, and talking to one person that's already been there can make such a difference in your treatment. And the Colon Club has helped me realize that I'm not alone. Here I am in a house full of people that have had one form or another of an experience similar to mine, and I'm actually probably one of the oldest people here, and they've all gone through this. They're all living full lives, and they haven't let it knock them down. And it's a testament that people can beat this and live on and help other people. And I just think it's wonderful what the Colon Club is doing. This is pretty cool because when I was sitting in the waiting room with my mother, waiting for her doctor to call us in, I saw a Colondar on the waiting room door. And there was a model on it, and her name was Heather May. And I didn't really put 2 and 2 together at that moment, but I noticed that Heather was from my town. And I read her story, and it always stuck in my head, and I remembered the Colon Club website. And later on, I looked it up. And then I put 2 and 2 together, and I realized that Heather actually worked with a family member of mine. And they were actually pretty close at one time. And so it immediately had a special meaning to me, because my brother-in-law, who worked with Heather, had told me what a great person she was, and how she was sick and all of that. And it just struck home, because she lived in our hometown, which is a very small town. And I was reading about her struggle having young children, and plus she committed to helping with the Cancer Society and everything else, that it became significant to me. But then, getting involved with my mom's condition, I kind of forgot about it. And then when I was diagnosed, I remembered about it again. So then I started researching it some more. And I shared it with my children. I've got 3 daughters, 20, 17, and 13. And my 17-year-old daughter, Andrea, talked me into submitting my story. And actually, right up to the moment where I was going to take pictures, I was going to have her take pictures of me, I was trying to talk myself out of it, and she pushed me forward. So we sent everything in, and my birthday is New Year's Eve, and we were all sitting in the family room, and the phone rang, and it was Hannah. And Hannah called me to congratulate me on my birthday that I was chosen as a model. And I'm getting emotional now. I got emotional then. I had decided that if there's any reason why I got this disease at such a young age, or just, not even the age thing, it's just, if there's any reason why I got it, is so that I could figure out a way to help other people. And when I got that phone call, it felt like the plan fell into place. Up until this weekend, I never really felt like I was totally ready to jump into this because I'd been so focused on getting my health back and feeling more normal. But that's the next step in my journey, I feel, is to start researching of what the possibilities are to take this, what levels there are for me to accomplish as a model. I want to be as supportive to the Colon Club as possible. I think I'd like to help bring the Colon Club further west, because right now it's more involved in the eastern part of the United States in Arkansas, because that's where all the management team is from. I want to help pick up where Heather left off, because she lost her battle against colon cancer. So I'm excited about the possibilities. I think it's awesome to be living in this time and age where technology helps people become part of each other's lives so easily. Most of the models all got together on Facebook, and we've been trading stories and emails, and you have an avenue to look at people's families and pictures of their lives. So to have all of that build up before we got here to come together, I think it was really great. And this is just icing on the cake. This place is awesome. It's a retreat, so to speak. It's spiritual in a way, and it's really good. And I think there's relationships and bonds being built here that will be lifelong. It felt really good because number one, it makes you feel kind of special being primped and going through the makeup and the hair and all of that. And Mark is a wonderful photographer, and being a little uncomfortable at first and having he just lifts you up. When you get tired of smiling, he finds a way to bring it back out of you. He makes you remember why you're there. He made me appreciate and remember things that I had already forgotten, and help bring that out in my pictures. And it's just made me feel really good about being able to help be part of the team to put something together that I think is going to be really good and do a lot of great things in the year 2010 when it comes out.